Thank you, Dr. Rafiq, for your valuable insights on the financial and institutional dimensions of climate resilience.
It's our privilege to have Dr. Kadir Shah, Chairperson of Pakistan Climate Change Authority (PCCJ). As Chairperson of PCCJ, Dr. Kadir Shah provides leadership on national climate policy. Dr. Sadullah? Okay. Okay. So I'd like to invite Dr. Sadullah to speak on behalf of Dr. Kadir Shah. Sir, please.
Good morning and Assalamu alaikum everyone. Our chairperson, Mr. Ghulam Qadir Shah, is busy in another activity at the moment. So we are representing Mr. Ghulam Qadir Shah on his behalf. My name is Sadullah Yaz, and I am very glad to be here this morning among such a diverse and vibrant group. And thanks to the senior leadership, the faculty and the students for being here this morning and discussing this very important subject, which is climate change. So I'll be very brief and would be talking about the overall climate change governance structures in Pakistan, how actually this process evolved and what are currently the institutions. Where through a presidential order, it was decided that environmental conservation is also of prime importance to Pakistan. And following that, in 1997, we had the Pakistan Environmental Protection Act, which actually realized that environmental protection is very much essential for human benefit and well-being. So under that, various institutional structures, including the national environmental entities, including the federal and provincial environmental authorities were established, which actually started discussing and taking various measures to address environment in Pakistan. In 1992, when the Johannesburg Earth Summit was adopted, so it was decided and realized that climate change is also a very important issue that needs to be resolved. So in 1992, the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change was signed. And in 1994, the Kyoto Protocol was also came into being. So Pakistan was one of the very few countries which became party to both the Climate Change Convention and the Kyoto Protocol. In 2012, Pakistan was among the very few countries which established the Pakistan Climate Change Ministry at the federal level. Because before that, we had a national Ministry of Environment, but due to a constitutional amendment, the environmental subject was devolved to the provinces, that they can now have their own legislation and institutional mechanism to address climate change. So in 2012, it was realized that Pakistan should have a dedicated Ministry of Climate Change to handle all the matters related to climate change, disaster risk reduction, and somewhat the roles related to environmental coordination in Pakistan. So in 2012, Pakistan developed a national climate change policy, which defined the actual contours of how we would be addressing climate change in Pakistan. And later in 2017, a National Climate Change Act was passed by the Parliament, under which there are three institutions which are established. One is the Climate Change Authority, which has been, initiated about 1.5 years ago. There is another climate change fund, which is under process. And the third is Climate Change Council, which is the kind of supreme institution which deals with the climate change issues in Pakistan. So coming to the issues that we have, I always say that climate change is no subject. If you look at the sectoral priorities, be it the forestry sector, the energy sector, irrigation, or whatnot, they are part of the climate change institutional mechanisms and also the climate change action. So we have this nationally determined contribution, which was developed and submitted by Ministry of Climate Change under the provisions of the Paris Agreement that Pakistan is signatory. So under that, its implementation lies with the Ministry of Climate Change. And if we look at the issues, this subject of climate change is scattered around various institutions, both at the federal and provincial levels. So at the federal level, we have the Ministry of Food Security, Ministry of Water Resources, Ministry of Industries, Ministry of Energy, and so many other institutions. So somehow their coordination with regards to actual climate change action and also implementation of the provision of climate change policy is a big challenge, because definitely when it comes to implementation, it is the coordination which has to be strengthened. Similarly, at the provincial level, we also have various departments like irrigation, agriculture, food department, and many other sectoral departments. So the vertical coordination between the federal institutions and the provincial institutions, which are actually responsible for implementation of ground action, is also a big challenge which needs to be further strengthened. And this is where the National Climate Change Authority comes, because we have representation from federal government as well as the provincial government. So the National Climate Change Authority is now trying to bridge those gaps with regards to the implementation of the recommendations of climate change policy. Similarly, we have data issues, and I must say that the data is generated at various levels, including particularly by the academia and research institution. But somehow, because of the coordination issues, it is not totally translated into our policy processes. Uh, Similarly, as Dr. Rafiq mentioned, that we have a deficit of climate change finance. So a lot of climate change finance pledges which have been committed by developed countries to support the developing countries is not coming up. Similarly, we also have our own budgetary constraints, because of which the climate change doesn't get that much priority. Similarly, I talked about the coordination mechanisms. So this is a point where we should be thinking about engagement of academia into overall climate change governance and policy implementation and formulation processes. So this is such seminar is one of the steps where we can consider that how academia and actually the researchers can be better and effectively involved in strengthening our overall climate change response. So just an overview of one of the activities that Climate Change Authority is undertaking. Though we are an asset entity, but still under the provisions of the policies, we are developing a climate change research action plan, which would definitely identify the research needs that we have in terms of implementation of the climate change agenda, and also identifying the potential sources from which those expertise can be, channelized to support Pakistan's climate change resilience and overall objective of developing a more resilient climate change society with objectives of climate change mitigation incorporated in our overall development process. So this is where we actually stand, and I would really urge that through such interactions, whatever resources are identified and whatever linkages are built, they should be further strengthened. So can we move forward towards a holistic climate change response in Pakistan. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for sharing your perspective on national climate priorities and institutional leadership.
It is an honor to welcome Dr. Heather Khwaja, Associate Professor, Department of Environmental and Sustainable Engineering. Dr. Khwaja is an internationally recognized environmental scientist with expertise in air quality monitoring, atmospheric modeling, environmental health, and climate research. His work reflects how scientific research supports policy formulation and applied solutions, particularly in developing countries' context. I respectfully invite Dr. Heather Khwaja to deliver his keynote address.
Assalamu alaikum. It is indeed a great honor for me to be a part of this the seminar, and I'm very thankful to the dean and all the faculty members here. Because of the time constraint, I would just probably in 15-20 minutes, I would cover my talk. Uh, Today I'm going to present a case study of Lahore smog pollution. I have started this project in 2022, December 2022, with the collaboration of University of Central Punjab, during smog and after smog, the monitoring of the air pollution. And basically, my main objective is to get the hospital data and look into the linkage between air pollution and cardiopulmonary diseases. But so far, I have tried all my avenues at the highest level, no luck so far. I have completed one project, a big project in Karachi, where collaborated with the Aga Khan University for 3 years. It was funded by National Academy of Sciences in Washington. And 3-year project monitoring air pollution. And I got the hospital data, the tertiary care hospitals, cardiopulmonary. And so far, we have published about 10 to 12 papers there. So, because of the time constraint, I would go pretty fast. Just some background: air pollution, particulate air pollution, what's causing this, what's at stake, a case study of Lahore, and some key findings, and what can we do on an individual basis and as a community, the community at large, as well as the scientific community. Why should we care about air pollution? Air pollution is a major public health concern in developed and developing countries, and now it is the second highest cause of death. According to this recent report, 2025, about 7.9 million premature deaths, about 275 million the healthy life years lost, and about $4.6 trillion cost just due to air pollution. And this cost is not uniformly distributed. About two-thirds of the premature death and the cost, I think, is among the developing countries of Asia. What are the consequences? The consequences: climate change, the health, reduced visibility. Now, the million-dollar question is, does the air pollution contribute to adverse health effects? International Agency for Research and on Cancer, IARC, has classified outdoor air pollution as carcinogenic to humans, that is group 1, and the particulate air pollution, that is PM, which is a major component of outdoor air pollution, has also been classified as carcinogenic to humans. PM 2.5, particulate matter less than 2.5 micrometer. Our hair is about 60 to 70 micrometer, which can be seen through the naked eye. These fine particles are so small, so tiny, they penetrate deep into the lungs, they go into the alveoli and then into the bloodstream, and then they can cause numerous health diseases. In developed countries, a number of studies have been carried out, and they have shown linkage between PM 2.5 and cardiovascular, pulmonary, mental health, the neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer, Parkinson, dementia. And I was amazed when I saw the figure for dementia in Asia due to air pollution. I think it's one of the major cause due to air pollution. So Pakistan's air pollution, I think, is a very pathetic condition. And it has some of the world's most polluted cities, Karachi and Lahore. And for the last 5 years, only 7 days, the PM 2.5 concentration met the WHO guideline. What's causing this? A number of sources. Vehicular emission is one of them. Industrial emission is number two. Number three is the resuspension of the dust, construction activities. And now, during this smog, the stubble burning. And we blame India, India blames us, and this trans-boundary pollution. I think it is there particularly during the smog season, end of November through end of February. What's at stake? I would just go to the last one. And as Dr. Rafiq mentioned, the World Bank estimates about $22 billion on an annual basis. About 6.5% of our GDP is due to the air pollution. And what it translates into $60.3 million dollars on an annual basis. This is the cost. And I think what we need is the cost benefit. And I would talk to Dr. Rafiq later on. What we need is how much are we losing due to air pollution, due to the climate change. That's the need of the hour. And the government and the policymakers, I think, should look into that cost. The problem during the smog season is the Himalayas in this Indo-Gangetic plains, the low temperature, the boundary layer is quite short, quite low, and all these pollutants which are being emitted from the vehicular traffic, industrial emissions, they are trapped in that. They don't have much larger volume to disperse and get diluted. These are some satellite pictures, and now the farmers from both sides of the Punjab, they are really smart, because when the NASA satellite goes the orbit, so these farmers are burning their agricultural waste after 2 p.m. so that they can avoid this satellite orbital thing. So I think they are really getting very smart. Okay, Lahore, 14.5 million, vehicular traffic, brick kilns, all these are contributing, and then during this smog season, a major smog issue. What are the challenges? I think I have heard here, I think as an academician, what we really need is the reliable data. That is the need of the hour. We need to have a good quality data where we cannot compromise. Okay? And this time, because climate change, as you know, carbon dioxide is the main greenhouse gas. We do not have the good quality data from Pakistan. Okay? That is needed. And I have provided some data from Karachi. Last year, we have done some VOC sampling where carbon dioxide, methane, and all that, that has been done. This time, I brought these canisters with me for VOCs, and we would have some carbon dioxide and methane data. We need the good quality data for greenhouse gases throughout Pakistan, a good reliable data, so that the modelers can use those data for prediction of the climate. What are the study goals? Basically, we have monitored PM 2.5 and some trace metals during the smog episode. Today, I am going to briefly present the data from the first smog episode. The PM 2.5 samples were collected on 47 millimeter PTFE filters. Samples were analyzed for PM 2.5. Black carbon. Black carbon data is needed for Pakistan because of the climate change. We do not have black carbon data. It's coming from the fossil fuel, and it gives you the negative forcing. Modelers do need black carbon data. Okay. That is also needed, a good quality data. So PM 2.5 were determined Let me share with you some PM 2.5 data. On y-axis, PM 2.5 microgram in per cubic meter. And this is the smog episode from 14th of November 2022 and up to 2nd February 2023. You can see the WHO guideline is a 5 microgram per cubic meter. That red solid line is the WHO guideline. Not on a single day, not on a single day, the PM 2.5 met WHO guideline. It exceeded by a factor of 7 to 28 factor. Okay. This is the temperature relative humidity data. The temperature decreases during that dense fog season, and the relative humidity increases. And at the same time, the black carbon, extremely high concentrations of black carbon. It's coming from the diesel, coming from the soot. If I compare this data with any developing country or developed country, one of the highest black carbon data. And black carbon is a carcinogen. Okay, that's what we are inhaling. All these PM 2.5 carcinogens. Let me share with you one or two more slides. Lead. Lead is a neurotoxin. Look at the WHO guidelines, very high concentrations of lead. Okay. This is the summary. Our sulfur, among all these trace elements, sulfur is predominant, about 13 microgram per cubic meter. Sulfur, our fuel, I think is adulterated. Very high sulfur, about 5,000 parts per million, and we are still following Euro 2. We should follow Euro 4 or Euro 5, where we can cut down the sulfur up to 5 parts per million. AQI. AQI, I think, relates the PM data with the health. And during this, our episode, 68% of the days, the AQI, the air quality index, was hazardous. About 31% is very unhealthy, and only 1% days it was unhealthy. So not on a single day, the air quality was good during that smog episode. Here, the free cigarettes in Lahore during this smog. I found this 22 microgram per cubic meter of PM 2.5 is equivalent to 1 cigarette per day. I translated that my PM 2.5 concentrations. So the residents of Lahore, they smoke 4,453 cigarettes every year, and it's free, okay, without any cost. Okay, let me skip that. What are the sources? Where are these coming from? Okay, so this is the US EPA model. I used that model to do the source apportionment. 5 factors: fossil fuel, basically from black carbon, chlorine, potassium, all that. Second factor is oil. The second source is oil. Third is resuspension of the dust. Fourth is resuspension, and the fifth is industrial emissions. So these are the 5 sources of these pollutants during smog episode. Where are they coming from? Indians blame us, and we blame Indians. So we did some backward in time trajectories at the very low concentration. Mainly it's coming from the northwest, and that is the predominant area during the smog episodes, northwest. Since I did not get the health data, so I thought let me do some health risk assessment based on non-carcinogenic risk and carcinogenic risk based on our data. So we have determined the non-carcinogenic risk, that is HI, and the cancer risk. So if cancer risk is less than 10 to the minus 6, no risk. If health index is less than 1, then negligible risk. Okay, so based on our data, non-carcinogenic risk for adults and children and carcinogenic risk for adults and children, PM2.5, black carbon, chromium is carcinogenic, okay, is a cancer agent, and arsenic. They show extremely high risk, non-cancer as well as cancer risk. How many people die? This is the US EPA model. I plugged in my values and came out about 1,228 people prematurely died because of this smog episode. What are the key findings? Extremely high concentrations of all these pollutants, non-cancer and cancer risk. And this is the data I think the policymakers should look into that. And you undergraduate, graduate students, and faculty members, I think you should design different projects along that line: the air pollution, impact on climate change, impact on human health, cost benefit. These kind of projects are needed. We need good quality data. I keep on emphasizing good quality data and publish it. We say it publish or perish. So I think that is needed. Individually, what we can do, waste burning. Karachi is the only mega city of the world among 20 mega cities, does not have the mass transit system. Lahore is another city. What we need is the mass transit system. Cut down these sources. Okay? And vehicular traffic is around 30%. So if we cut down the vehicular traffic emissions, we can cut down the emissions. That would have an impact on climate change. What we can do as a community in Islamabad, somebody thought that mulberry trees would be good. And after so many years, asthma problem, now we are cutting that. What we need is, I think we should think what kind of trees are needed. And these evergreen trees, I think, they are pretty good. They can trap these pollutants, okay, the metals. So I think the academicians should do some research along this line. What kind of trees are needed, indoor and as well as outdoor environment. Scientific community, I think the responsibilities lie on our shoulders. We need to have good design projects. We need to engage our capacity building. Some of these institutions I have seen, I should not say it, but I would say it, EPA, they do not have skilled people. They have not trained people in these fields. We need skilled people in these organizations so that they can think properly, they can design projects and execute it. We need capacity building. Authorities, I always say political will. If there is a will, things could be done. Final thoughts, I think the lesson is very clear. Solutions do exist, but it's a question of will. Thank you so much for your attention. I try to minimize in 15 to 20 minutes. Any question? Okay.
Thank you, Dr. Khwaja, for sharing your detailed insights on the research work regarding climate change.
NewTek is proud to host the European Union Centre of Excellence for Climate Action established through European Union funding and long-term international collaboration. This initiative strengthens NewTek's role as a national hub for climate innovation, digital transformation, and sustainable development.
Under this EU-supported framework, NewTech has launched Pakistan's first postgraduate degree program in climate change and environmental informatics, aimed at building advanced human resource capacity at the intersection of climate sciences, data analytics, and digital technologies. At NewTech, the primary focus is on research and innovation in technology-driven climate challenges. The university develops scientific models, data systems, monitoring frameworks, and decision support concepts that address the real-world problems and climate challenges.
Through a strong industry partnership, AI Navigators Private Limited plays a key role in the development and deployment phase with their expertise in the domain of geospatial intelligence, climate analytics, and decision support systems and early warning systems. Through its collaboration with NewTek, research-based innovations are converted into operational digital products and platforms that support government institutions, planners, and industry stakeholders. While NewTek leads research and knowledge generation, AI navigators transform these research outputs into operational platforms, field deployable technologies, and practical applications that support planning, governance, and climate resilience.
This collaborative model ensures a seamless pathway from research to development and then to deployment, delivering measurable impacts and turning scientific innovation into real world solutions for Pakistan's sustainable future.
This is the journey where bold ideas are transformed into scientific research, research evolves into cutting edge innovation, and innovation is delivered as a deployable technologies and real world solutions that create a measurable impact. Ladies and gentlemen, we now invite the new tech team in collaboration with AI Navigators Private Limited to present their pioneering work and showcase how research meets real world impact.
Assalamu alaikum everyone. I hope you are doing well. Assalamu alaikum everyone.
Assalamu alaikum everyone. Assalamu alaikum everyone.
So, okay, so starting with the climate. What is climate? Climate is how we live and breathe. The change in these patterns create the impact on our environment. Climate change is no longer a future risk. It's a present reality. Global temperatures are rising every day, and the historical patterns can be are not predicted have not predicted that much. Extreme weather events such as flood, heat waves, wildfires, flood, and landslides. The question is no longer whether climate change will affect us, but how prepared we are to respond. What can be the solution? Is there a single solution for this problem? There is no a single solution to a challenge of this scale, but there can be a strategic direction, the intersection of climate and the intersection of research and technology to solve real world problems. While the research provides depth, evidence, context, and long-term understanding, the technology provides speed, scalability, automation, and real-world insights. The integration transforms climate data into decision-ready intelligence. The challenge, however, lies in the implementation. Research often remains confined to academic publications. However, technology may exist as isolated tools. It requires institutional alignment with cultural shifts. NewTek was established with distinguished mandate to operate as a university for industry. Rather than spreading theory from practice, NewTek integrates academic with real-world application. Students, researchers, and industry Partners collaborate on applied challenges across engineering, applied sciences, and emerging technologies. The outcome is not only skilled graduates but professionals equipped to address national development priorities. One of the key projects was European funded active project. This initiative focuses on climate action, disaster risk reduction, and environmental protection through the application of ICT and advanced technologies. Its strength lies in collaboration, bringing together Pakistani institutions and European universities to exchange methodology standards and expertise. Beyond project implementation, capacity building remains central. Through structured workshops, technical training, and knowledge sharing sessions, students, researchers, and professionals are equipped with skills in climate technologies and data driven analysis. Sustainable resilience is built not only through the infrastructure but through sustainable human capacity. Education forms the foundation of long-term projects. Pakistan's first interdisciplinary master's program combining climate science, AI, GIS, and sustainability is designed to develop professionals capable to perform of operating across sectors. The future requires individuals who can translate between science, technology, and policy. NewTech is working extensively on data collection, analysis, visualization, and support system using these equipments. AI GeoNavigator is where the industry engagement comes in. AI GeoNavigator is a climate intelligence and geospatial organization dedicated to translate complex environmental problems into actionable insights. By integrating artificial intelligence with GIS and remote sensing, we enable institutions to identify risk earlier, plan more effective, and respond with great confidence. Some of the core services are span from multiple domains, from civil and structural engineering to project financing and risk analysis. What unifies this work is a system-based approach. What climate, infrastructure, and economic consideration are treated as interconnected components rather than isolated variables. Each engagement is designed with local relevance and long-term sustainability in mind. What are our approaches? We support organization across three critical dimensions. First, climate adaptation and disaster risk reduction, enabling proactive risk assessment. Second, ESG and sustainability analytics, ensuring credible data-driven reporting. Third one was the environmental communication and advocacy, recognizing that informed stakeholders drive meaningful change.
Here are a few of our projects. Pedestrian mapping of Tehsil Izman Bahawalpur. Then comes Deaf Consultant with WWF Pakistan. Shine Technical Support, that's our parent company. It's one of the projects. Renewable Hubs Private Limited project. Al Waleed Talal Haribi contracting project. And we have done a project for Gilgit Baltistan government as well. Then comes our products. So sorry, as Samra I have mentioned about GIS, the main source of GIS data is satellite imagery. So the open source data we get is resolution of 10 meter, but we need way more better data than that. So what we have done, we have created Shine, smart hierarchical encoder and decoder for image enhancement. What it does, it enhances and reconstructs satellite imagery up to 1 to 3 meter approximately. It has different use cases. It can be used in agriculture, urban planning, water management. Then comes another model. It's deep learning lake segmentation model. So what it does, we created an AI model that automatically detects water and lake bodies uh, through AI up to 0.94 accuracy. Sorry for the technical issues, the mic is not working. Uh, as Dr. Rafiq had mentioned about the glove, then comes another project. It's AI based glacial lake outer flooding early warning system. So, what we have used our own previous satellite reconstruction model and the automatic lakes detection model and combining it with different parameters using AI and deep learning to create a risk map for glacial lake outburst flooding in Gilgit-Baltistan. Its name is Climb 13. It aligns with SDG Goal 13 climate action. Then comes Agile. So basically, I will love to call Dr. Junaid, who is an independent expert. He will love to explain more about this project. So, Dr. Junaid, thanks.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Respected guests, students, faculty members, Assalamu alaikum and good afternoon. First of all, thank you so much to NewTech and AIGO for holding such a great event. Before formally introducing myself, I would like to go back into history and share an event with you. So I think most of us might know about Galileo. He was an Italian philosopher, astronomer, mathematician. So at that time, Galileo was of the view of a heliocentric model, where he proposed that Sun is at the center and all the planets, including Earth, is revolving around it. Whereas, in contradiction, Church was of the view of a geocentric model, where they were proposing that Earth is not revolving; it is stationary, it is at the center, and Sun and all other planets are revolving around it. So, because of these two diverging views, there was a confusion. And since the church was in authority, they pressurized Galileo to publicly withdraw his views. So, Galileo actually succumbed to the pressure of church, and then in an open court in front of so many people, um, he withdrew his claim. However, at the end, he whispered some words which are golden words, I would say. He looked down towards the earth and he said, "Yet it moves." Actually, at that time, Galileo was telling a reality, a thing that was there, already there, but people or the church, they were refusing to accept it. So, ladies and gentlemen, artificial intelligence in this contemporary world is a reality. And I strongly suggest and propose that we should embrace it as soon as possible because the developed world has already embedded it in their models. They are using it, they are getting measurable gains, they are getting tangible outcomes out of it, and it is producing so many benefits for them. So that is something I wanted to bring here since AIGO is a mainly a AI based firm. So now something about myself. I did my bachelor's in civil engineering from UAT Lahore, and I started working with Irrigation Department Punjab. Then I did my master's in water sciences and engineering from Delft, Netherlands. And afterwards, I started my PhD in water resources again from the University of Texas at Arlington and Austin. So there onwards, I inclined myself toward AI. And I used AI in urban climatology and in water resources. And not only the academic part, then I worked with industry as well. So I worked with the city of Houston and I helped them developing AI models in their day-to-day basis assignments and tasks, and it was being used for so many multiple purposes, such as for asset management, asset prediction, condition prediction, and so many things. So there, I got to realize, and they were actually building digital twins also using this AI concept and everything. So I think that is a reality model being applied globally. So now coming to the presentation from AIGO. So they actually told me that they have developed something, and then they wanted me to review their products and come up with something. To be very honest, I don't know about, maybe to the best of my knowledge, I think not many companies in Pakistan are working or using AI to the extent that AIGO is using currently. So as an example, if the product that you are seeing right now, Agile, as it says, Autonomous Geospatial Intelligence and Learning Engine, 2 weeks ago, I was watching a video on LinkedIn. NASA actually launched a hydrology co-pilot, and it is not public yet, but I think the analogy was quite similar to what AIGO has been working for so many months. So for example, we have geospatial data. And so you were right that we need to get quality data. So it's important because otherwise this AI activity becomes a trash in, trash out. So they have taken care of the data quality as well in all of these algorithms. So now coming back to this agile thing. So for example, let's take example of Pakistan being hit by severe floodings. In last 15, 16 years, I think we have been hit 4 times, starting from 2010, then 2014, then 2022, and then latest in 2025. So if we ask a simple question like, we want to know about an area that was hit by all these floods, maybe a common area, common ground. What was the damage, extent damage? What was the flood depth? Or some simple question, something like this. So even if this task is assigned to any organization, any individual, it will require so much data, gathering data, then pre-processing data, so many stages you go through, and then you come up with so many graphs, so many stats, and then eventually you are more concerned about the insights. What is the actual insights that you can tell to any layman, any non-technical person? Because you might know, but you have to translate those things into very tangible and easy way. So this agile or these products like this, they wrap everything. So for example, right now, these days, all of us might be using ChatGPT or any other large language model. So what they are using, so they are a pattern completion system. They are bound to generate something. Gen AI is the concept, right? So at the back end, it does something, it produces something for us. So when the data is different, so for example, in this case, if there is a geospatial data, so many diverse type of data sets. So if you assign the same task, maybe it can take days or even weeks depending on the level of expertise. So products like this, the use case is very diverse, and the audience and the users could be anyone actually. Anyone who wants to just find an answer can just type the question, and at the back end, all these AI systems are going to fetch those data sets, maybe open source, or if you are providing real-time data set, that can also do the job. And eventually, not only that it will produce or it will generate some graphs or stats or something, it will also tell you insights that directly you can derive something out of it. So that is why I was referring to NASA's product, because NASA recently launched a co-pilot, hydrology co-pilot actually, sir. But they didn't make it public so far. So for example, in the context of Pakistan, like all these floodings and everything, so if we can bring something in Pakistan, it is state of the art. I can say it with confidence. This is one of the product. I think they did not show one more thing that this company they showed me. They're working on a digital brain organization concept. I think if you can bring that, it would be easier. Otherwise, I will simply. Okay, yeah. So now coming back to ChatGPT again. So, all of us now use ChatGPT or any other large language model. There are some inherent problems with these large language models. One of them is hallucination, because they have been trained on a diverse type of data, and they are bound to produce something out of it. So they might hallucinate sometimes, and they have to, because produce something, so they might come up with any information, but then the onus is on you, on the expert, to ascertain whether the information is right or wrong. As an example, like I think 2, 3 months ago, before the launch of this GPT-5, I asked a question like, "Who is the president of the United States?" And I came up with an answer saying John F. Kennedy. I don't know how they can do this, but then I wrote, "Okay, who is the current president?" And then it's Donald Trump. So sometimes they might hallucinate. That's a problem. Another thing, it's very serious, is that data privacy. So, for example, organization like PCCA, Climate Change Authority, or New Tech, or any other organization, the data confidentiality is very important. We will never give this data to any of these open source models, because then once it goes to their system, it becomes public. So, since working with the City of Houston and other organization in the United States, I realized over there now they are developing their own large language models. They are calling it like something like digital brain of their organization, because then they don't need to worry about the data privacy issues. And then comes the authenticity part, because every output that comes out of these models, they are cited to the actual data that they got this information from. So you don't need to worry then that if the data is right or wrong. And then another thing is that with the passage of time, if we see, like, there is a lot of data that is being generated. So for example, I was reading a stat somewhere that every minute the amount of data that is being generated currently is more than the data that was generated till year 2003, so, since the onset of these computers and all. So the same application is for us. For example, if we take a look at our laptops, there is so much data. Even after 6 months, we forget what were the things over there. So things like this digital brain organization, they can keep track of the data, and then you don't need to worry. It's just like a prompt away. You can put and get so many things out of it. So I think this is also another thing that is very important, and because developed world is already working on it, Pakistan needs to work on it, because climate change, as you mentioned, is a serious challenge for us. And I think we need to be leaders in terms of bringing so much innovation, because our problems are also so much diverse and unique. Say it's not only climate change, sir. It's also dealing with hostile neighbors because of our flows. We are dealing with so many other issues. No, I think it's a very unique case global, because if we see these recent floodings, now we are talking about no flows coming from India, and we are also concerned about Afghanistan side. So there, definitely we need to get all this data in one place, and then comes the AI part. So I think this is very important. Another thing, I think they also showed me flood dashboard and then heat waves dashboard. So those were also very appealing to me, in a sense that, because so ever since, like, for so many years, all of us have a weather app in our mobile phone. So we can check temperature, we can check rainfall anytime, because these are two parameters that is, I think, of interest to everyone literally. Uh, but I think in the context of Pakistan, now flood is a very important thing. That touches every sphere of life, and either you are living in GB, Gilgit-Baltistan, you are hit by GLOF. You are living in a rural area, you are hit by a riverine flooding. In an urban area, it's an urban flooding. So I think this sort of dashboards, they become B2C. Like, this becomes not only the organization needs it for their decision making and planning. I think every general public can also use such things. And the dashboard that they showed me, they're actually fetching data from open source repository, because they don't have on ground data. But since the workflows are ready, so there is something that it's very innovative, in a sense that AI is also being used here, and so much insights you can derive from these tools. Another thing was about heat waves. Can you show that heat wave thing? Yeah, that you showed me. Yeah. So for example, not only the bare temperature that matters, it's the structure, it's the area, it's the land use, the diversity that matters a lot. Then that comes the part of urban heat island, and how you can measure it using the remote sensing data. So the product that they have come up with uses multiple sensors, because you can end up with different sorts of resolution issues. Spatial resolution is different, temporal resolution is different. So, but if you integrate multiple sensor data at one point, so you can derive such information. And in the context of Pakistan, this is also very important, because now we are also dealing with heat waves and so many other things. So I think all of these, and they have so many other products as well. But in the interest of time, I will stop here talking about these products. But overall, I would highly appreciate AIGU and New Tech as well, because they are collaborating, and then they are bridging the industry academia gap over here. Uh, I think lastly, I would like to say that if PCCA has some mandates, so you can also think about why not having a national climate database and an intelligence center, something like that, because so the data is being generated, the data is there. Departments are doing so much thing. Maybe in silo there's a lot of data available, but where is the data, and is the data being used rightly? Like are we driving the exact insights that we need or not? So why not, if a center like this, that becomes an integral part of getting data from different departments at a very centralized place? Because I think, sir, climate change authority has that mandate, and under the climate change act, you can come up with these things. So then comes, because once we get data, then we have to make sure the data becomes, as sir rightly mentioned, the data quality is ensured. Once that is done, these stages are through, then you jump into the AI part, because then AI can do wonders actually. And then all these parameters could be holistically viewed at one window, I think, operation. So I think, sir, that is it from my side. So once again, thank you so much for organizing this event. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Thank you so much.
Sir, thank you for your valuable information. I am Dr. Sahil from Pakistan Technological Department. I have some suggestions and just information. First of all, you showed that you are going to develop vulnerable lake by using AI. So kindly can you clarify how can you identify vulnerable lake? We are doing the same business since last 10 to 15 years.
I will let the concerned guy talk about it because I reviewed it. He will tell you, but I can add something.
Okay. So can you please come again and repeat your question?
How can you identify the vulnerable lakes? That these lakes are very vulnerable regarding the floods
Yeah.
and glaciers.
Like I don't know anyone has mentioned, but we have 16 PhD doctors working behind us. They provide us the hyperparameters which we integrate in the deep learning model. So basically, the first step was identifying the glacial lakes. It was not identifying the vulnerable lakes. For that, we needed high resolution satellite imagery, and we couldn't get that, so we created an AI model that reconstructs these images up to 1 to 3 meters. The use case of that, the lakes are visible. We can see through using different tools. Then the parameters for defining which lakes are very vulnerable or not are different. It may be contains different across modelings, debris flow, extent of the lake. You can say the hand is used in that, TWI is used in that, LST is used. There are just a combination of whole lot of parameters which we used in a deep learning model. So basically, all the mathematical equations are converted into an AI model. Then it provides us the risk map and provide us the vulnerable areas, which will surely going to be effective, so that communities who are working there, they can be saved and move to the safer areas. That's how it works.
I think I would like to add something to it. So your question was right, sir, because so they have so many factors over there. So if you see the historical context, so maybe not only direct parameters, there are so many proxy parameters that can tell you about the vulnerability of those things. Once you get all of these parameters in one place, then AI models can train themselves, and then they can unlock all those relationships, the non-linearity, whatnot. So I think that's what you told me.
So like basically there is an AI algorithm, nine is physics integrated again, which implements all the physics laws, even fluid dynamics, how water flows, water does not flows upwards. When we have to teach a machine that water goes downwards, it's kind of difficult. But due to this, we are able to do that. So as I have mentioned, there are different kind of KPIs mentioned there. So it's a whole lot combination of different things. So anything more?
So basically, these are the two phases. We do research, being the PhD doctors, and then the team dwells that in the product, such as tangible products. So it has a lot of research that has been conducted by all of us as a PhD doctors.
And then the validation part as well.
Then the validation.
I just like to collaborate with the university that Pakistan Meteorological Department recently has 184 automatic weather stations throughout the KPK and GB, more than 5,000 meters at high elevated glaciers, and we have identified 36 vulnerable lakes. We installed automatic weather station in 24 different valleys.
Yeah.
Similarly, during 2025, KMD issued 11 alerts for vulnerable lakes. If I give example, like Strandberg, Randu, Rusparasto, and out of these 11 early warning alerts, 9 was accurate in two different, the water level will rise, but there was not graph event. So it's just suggestion, if we do a collaboration, we have
Yes.
already data, because for AI you need the trained data.
Yes.
So for trained data, satellite data, definitely it is overestimated, particularly for upper regions. So we have already automatic weather station, and early warning system. And finally, we have already developed a glass dashboard, glacier, lake, outpost drive. So I suggest if your academia and student can visit to Pakistan Meteorological Department, we can share our product.
Definitely,
So
ma'am. Definitely, sir.
we will collaborate, definitely. And we are already working to have the industry and academia. I guess that we'll have a visit to PMB, but that was not that expensive. So definitely we will collaborate. We're already connected.
Thank you so much for the input, sir. We should move to some other projects as well. We are trying to create a digital twin for smart cities. It's a very new thing for Pakistan, as all the developed countries are working on digital twins. So what is a digital twin? It's creating a virtual reality for a physical entity. Right now, we have done this project for Mumtaz city. It will help in urban planning and creating climate resilient smart cities. We have created 3D interactive maps that will help in different infrastructure development, climate resilient infrastructure planning, and smart city decision making. As Dr. Junaid have already explained you about the digital brain of organization, Dr. Rafiq has mentioned all the things, the flood, the glove, the UHI, the drought. We have tried to implement AI in all these things to create a collaborative approach. Other than that, we have different kinds of mobile apps as well. Let's come up with AIGO GPT. That's a GPT that answers questions regarding climate action, ESG goals, all scope 1, scope 2, scope 3 things, everything you want to know about disasters, GIS, remote sensing. It does not hallucinate at all. The main purpose of it is PR, so that people should know that climate is a thing, and it's changing and it's affecting us in terms of everything, in terms of health, in terms of everything. So that's what it is for. The second app is EcoGreen. EcoGreen is a sustainability products checking app. So what it does, some people are, you can say, they're conscious about the products they are buying. Either they are sustainable or not. So you just have to scan the QR. It will give you the suggestion whether this product has gone through the sustainable approach or not. If it is not, it will provide you an alternative with the same approach. We have created a weather app that provides you the weather insights. We have combined different data sources so that there comes a thing in human nature. He or she wants to recheck everything. So we are combining all the API sources to combine whether the data is correct or not. We have different training sessions and new tech as well. So that's it from all of us. For the closing note, I would love to call Mr. Asim Javed, CEO of AI Geo Navigators, for the concluding remarks. Mr. Asim Javed.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Thank you, everybody. Professor Dr. Haider Khwaja, Dr. Qadir Shah, Dr. Rafiq, respected director, sir. Sir, very first of all, I want to thank you, everybody, and especially New Tech. New Tech always helps us in research and give us always their feedback is there for us. So today I want to thanks New Tech to helping us in this mission. It's a privilege to part of this dialogue on building a climate resilient Pakistan. Research and technologies are the center of tackling our climate challenges. Academic research gives us insight into climate patterns, urban growth, and environmental risks. When combined with advanced technology, these insights become actionable solutions that guide us smarter decisions. We live in an era of environmental instability. where massive volume of data are generated every seconds, from shifting climate patterns to rapid urbanization. But raw data alone, it's just a noise. At AI GeoNavigator, we apply artificial intelligence and geospatial intelligence to transform this complex data into actionable insights. We enable early risk detections, predictive analysis, and informed decisions making for communities, planners, and policymakers. We work bridges academic research, advanced technology, and national priorities, helping shift responsibilities from reactive measures to anticipatory climate plannings. Today's seminar is a perfect example of that. So thanks for the coming today and New Tech to organizing this and always help us in research and provide data and third-party validations. Thank you so much.
At the end, I would like to add something up from my side. We are not bringing AI to replace human decision making. We are looking for collaborative approach because collaboration, you can say that is maybe essential right now. Using AI, remote sensing, human decision making, scientific research. Thank you so much for listening to me. Any questions? Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you to NewTek and AI GeoNavigator teams to clearly demonstrate how research, technology, and collaboration are translated into real-world climate solutions. To formally conclude today's session, I would like to invite Dean of University to deliver the closing remarks and share his perspective on technology-led sustainability and institutional leadership.
Distinguished guests, faculty, students, and participants, Assalamu alaikum. First of all, I would like to congratulate the organizers for arranging such a well executed and meaningful forum. Your effort has created a platform where research, technology, and national policy come together to address the one of the Pakistan most urgent challenges, that is the climate resilience. I would also like to thank our distinguished speakers, especially the Dr. Haider Ali Khwaja, for sharing their valuable insights, global experience, and practical guidance. Your contribution have greatly enriched today's discussions and provide clear directions for Pakistan in tackling the climate changes. This forum has shown how collaboration can work in practice. New tech research provides the knowledge we need. AI Geo Navigators turn this knowledge into practical technology driven solutions. And PCCA ensures these efforts are aligned with the national priorities and policy, creating a real impact for the country. Pakistan is already facing the real impacts for the climate change, from rising temperature and the water scarcity to flood, air pollution, and threats to agriculture and public health, which affect the daily lives and future of our citizens. The partnership demonstrated here between industry and the national authority is a model for how we can respond to the climate challenges of Pakistan. By working together, we can reduce risk, strengthen resilience, and prepare Pakistan for the future. In the end, I again thank the organizers, speakers, and the participants for their dedication and vision. Let's take the ideas and the solution from today and turn them into real action. Together, through research, innovation, and strong collaboration, we can build a climate resilient, sustainable, and secure Pakistan. Thank you, everyone. Allah Hafiz.
Now I would like to call Prorector New Tech for prize distribution.
First of all, I would like to call Dr. Mohammad Rafiq from PCCA. Next, Dr. Sadullah. Now I kindly request Dr. Khwaja to please come on the stage and receive his souvenir. Next, I would like to call Mr. Asim Javed, CEO, AI Geonavigators Private Limited. In the last, I would like to call Dr. Junaid to please come on the stage. Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the formal proceeding of today's seminar. We sincerely thank our distinguished speakers, collaborators, and participants for their valuable contributions. Now, the guests are kindly requested to move to the mezzanine cafe for the refreshment, and students are requested to be seated. Thank you.